Hello and welcome to the Boss Squad with your girl, Kubi Springer. This is a business entertainment show with a little twist. Here you will learn how to build your brand, shape your destiny, and hopefully we will give you the motivation to own it. So, today's show is being sponsored by Big Jam Studios, She Builds Brands, NT Media, and Melkia. I want to take a moment to just thank our sponsors. Thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much, because today is such an important show. We're going to be talking about personal branding, social media, and mental health. Before we get into the show, I really want to encourage you. If there's anything that we say on today's show that triggers something for you, there's numbers at the bottom of the screen. Please get in touch with your local charity. If you're in the UK, this number is for you. If you're international, I want to encourage you to get in touch with a charity that is in your local market. Never, ever feel triggered on your own. Now, are you ready? Oh, I got a juicy one. My special co-host for today is Desti D. She's a social media influencer and she's here to tell us about her journey and to help me on today's show. Welcome, Puppet.
Thank you.
Now, first of all, did I get the name right?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. There was no Destiny, no. I love it. I'm loving your outfit.
Thank you so much.
I feel like we need a Wendy shoe cam.
We do.
We need a
yes,
Wendy.
we
Next
do.
season.
Yours is nice too.
Thank
It's fabulous.
Mine are parked away. They can't even see them. But next season, Wendy shoe cam. So, my darling, for those who don't know who you are, who maybe you've been sitting under a rock, tell everybody who you are.
So, my name is Desti D. I'm a speaker. I'm a talk show host. I'm a content creator, and I also like dancing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, pause on the dancing because I used to dance. You used to dance. So, what was your thing?
Hip hop, street
What's it?
style,
You
the
went
whole
like
you got
the running
served.
man. You got served. I hear it. Mine was classical ballet.
Really?
Yeah, I went to the Royal Academy, darling. Yes.
I did ballet.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was skinny then.
I was too energetic.
I hear you. So tell everyone, like, what do you do now? Like, where are you at? What are you doing?
So I have my own talk show. It's called Life with Desti D. It's currently being rebranded to Move and Mindset, which we actually celebrate mental health.
Move and Mindset.
Move and Mindset.
Love that.
The motto is celebrating mental health through movements. So it's based on, obviously, my testimony and my first-hand experience in mental health. And I found a way to overcome my depression and anxiety and mental health through dancing, which is what I'm practicing in my talk show. So anything that I do, I'm currently already doing it or gone through it myself. And, you know, it's been a blessing to see, you know, some people just being uplifted and having their confidence back again and being celebrated through their pain. So they've gone from going from a journey to pain to purpose and finding.
Hold on a minute, child. You can't just say, you can't just drop lines like that on the Boss Squad. That's a tweetable moment.
Yes.
From pain to purpose.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Just before we continue,
Sure.
I want to remind you guys, if there's anything that you hear on this show that triggers something for you, there is a number that is at the bottom of the screens right now. And I'm conscious that our audience are global. So if the number is not for your country, please, please, please do research on a charity in your home country that might be able to support you if you feel a little bit triggered around the issues of mental health, social media, and particularly as you're trying to build your brand. Definitely. So let's take a step back.
Yeah.
Before I talk about your history, I really want to talk about the show because I had a snoop on your social media. Yeah. I really love the fact that you do it in front of a live audience.
I do.
I love the fact it's for men and women. So let's just talk about the show for a bit.
So the show in itself isn't staged. Sometimes I never know how the show is going to go, but that's the beauty of it. And that's the nature and just the originality of it. So I talk about my story. It's as simple as I talk about my story. At that moment, I put myself in the most vulnerable state. So that people can see who I truly am and what I went through. And the power of vulnerability and honesty really brings that love in the room to support others to be vulnerable. It's almost like you don't want to lie in that room. You want to set your truth free because you see that person being just as free. And you know, if you've gone through something or going through something, you want to be just as free. So then you stand up or you put your hand up and say, I have a story. And then you come and sit with me and we start talking about your story.
I love that. So you invite the guests
I do.
to put their hand up and say, I have a story.
Yes.
Oh, powerful.
Or if you already have spoken to me beforehand and said, Desti, I'm not there to tell my story, but I'm going to dance it. I'm going to sing it. So we would have to kind of have a show run and practice it, of course, because you're going to be singing or rapping or dancing your story.
I so love that.
It's a showcase of celebration. So, you know, where you've gone to a talent show before, you know, you've gone to see showcases and performances of people actually performing their talent. In my show, people are showcasing their story, what they've been through. They're showing you what they currently are going through or the journey that they've been through to let everybody know they're there to be celebrated. They overcome it and they're there as a brand new person and they're set free.
I love. You know, there's so many things that are ringing powerfully for me as you're speaking. One is the idea that it's quite impromptu, because I think, you know, we both do shows, right? And doing show production, you want every detail to be perfect. Like I'm a hot mess when it comes to perfection. So I love the idea that you create an environment for people to just be spontaneous and to step into their spotlights. I also love the fact that you use the arts. Because not everybody's comfortable saying it.
100%.
What made you come up with the importance of using the arts?
Because I went through it myself. And I knew articulating how I felt when I was going through depression wasn't the easiest thing. And, you know, having to tell a doctor or a nurse, you know, what is going on with you, that already in itself is hard. But imagine doing that in front of strangers, an audience that you don't know and haven't seen before. So therefore, I kind of gave that choice to the guests and the people. You don't have to talk about your story. If you want to rap it and do whatever you feel confident and comfortable in, that's how you do it. It shouldn't be a pressure. It should be a release. It's supposed to help you, not to make you feel worse or heavier. And I just thought of that idea with my show and I just went along with it and it worked.
I love it. Now, obviously, Boss Squad is all about empowering people to build their brands and to build the business of whatever their gifts and talents and capabilities are. So what's the business end of your show? How does that work?
So the business end is the celebration in itself of mental health. I saw that as quite like a gap in the industry, especially in social media, where, you know, social content creators and influencers, we do deal with mental health ourselves. Not a lot of it gets celebrated or exposed, or it wasn't shown in a big light back then. Now that, you know, mental health is being more aware and a lot of brands and clothing brands are celebrating it or make it more aware, known of it. I wanted to be that. I wanted to use my platform for a good use. And even though it was a big risk in the beginning, because a lot of people thought depression was a negative subject and a heavy thing to talk about, I saw that as a light because it was setting you free. And, you know, people on social media are ready to troll you and ready to just rip something out of your past to make you feel belittled or disrespected or whatever it is. And for me, it was, let's celebrate our past. So whoever is ready to come for you or at you, oh, I've already pulled that receipt before, you couldn't pull that on me.
Come on
exactly.
Now. Come on.
And that was my thing.
I love it.
It wasn't even to make a profit. It was to support you to become the better version of yourself and to also better your past. Because people focus so much on becoming the better person for like the present moment that it was almost like they forget about the past.
Or they want to hide it, like
they want to bury it, right? Because they're ashamed. And for me, I wanted to be that person. I was like, no, we don't forget about the past. We re-celebrate it again.
Absolutely, and we use it to propel ourselves.
Exactly.
So fascinating. When you first started to do this, because you've got over 150,000 followers on Instagram,
right?
And you know you've got a YouTube channel.
Yes,
you're a beautiful woman. And the surface, when you look at your social media, and you were posting, and you started to change the content.
Yeah.
How was that received?
A lot of brands, I guess, kind of pulled away from working with me. I guess because I was talking about a subject that was what they perceive as political or very just something that is not normally talked about in the fashion industry, or we don't talk about mental health. We don't want to dip into that kind of subject.
Was it an overt pull away? In other words, did the marketing team say, actually, we can't work with you anymore because of X, Y, and Z?
And they kind of saw that as a you have a full-time commitment to something that has nothing to do with fashion.
Sure.
Right. So I
But
thought,
yet it has everything to do with fashion.
Exactly.
Right. Interesting.
And my thing was, we celebrate so much events, even in the fashion industry, that you couldn't miss World Mental Health Day. You're going to celebrate it sooner or later. You're not going to just keep ignoring, world's causes and everything that is going on in the world. And I thought, that's fine. I'm just going to let go of the brands that are letting go of me and just make way for new opportunities.
Love that.
So
there's a gem in that, okay? You're just dropping gems, honey, okay? There's a gem in that, because I think sometimes, particularly during this time where people are pivoting, they're so scared
100%.
to let go of partnerships. But you said quite powerfully, you let it go, so you're making room
100%.
for the right partnerships.
Yeah, 100%. You have to be uncomfortable to get to a comfortable place. You got to take new risks. And also, what's meant for you will make its way for you.
Yes.
And for me, I thought, okay, you know what? These are the brands that I really wanted to work with, but they're pulling away for a certain reason. So I just have to accept that and adjust and maneuver with it, because I'm not going to take control of something that is not meant to be in my control. I'm not going to make it harder for myself.
Right.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit, Puppet, about the backstory that got you here. So what happened?
So 18 years ago, my parents gracefully gave me up. Just so that I can have a better life. So I came from Indonesia to England at the age of 9. As a child, you don't really question why you go through the things you go through. You just live. You just live as a child. You just go to school and do normal things, make friends. Mental health didn't hit me until I turned 21. So throughout my adulthood, I started to realize certain things was missing and certain things just wasn't really the same as my friends. And it hit me when I was in university, because when you go uni, that's when your independence is really tested, right? That's where you start paying your own bills and, you live by yourself.
And your sense of identity.
Right. There's no mum or dad. And I realized that, majority of my friends were getting, parents' visits and just even the external support from their parents. If they were going through some tough times in uni, they can just call them up. And especially financial situations as well, they can just ring them up and say, hey, mum, I need this amount of money. I'm behind on maintenance and stuff. I didn't have that. And I was working up to 3 jobs in university. I went through homelessness at one point as well. And when I actually decided to look into what I was going through, I turned myself into a walk-in clinic. I didn't see a nurse, I saw a sister. And I just told her, I was completely honest with her, and I said, I don't know what's going on with me, but I just don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to carry on. And she said, what do you mean? And I just said, I'm done. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of pulling through what I have to pull through. So I was diagnosed with severe depression. I've already gone through a lot of antidepressants under the moon and under the sun, from Prozac to Zoloft to antihistamine to sleeping pills, you name it. Antidepressants is not there to heal you, it's there to numb you. So where people, when you go to a physician and you go to a doctor, they will prescribe it to you because they think that is your first-hand solution to stop you from becoming suicidal,
to numb the pain.
To numb the pain, but it doesn't necessarily heal you. And I had to heal myself, knowing that doctors said that they were going to take me into a mental health asylum at the age of 21. I said, no. I'm not crazy. I'm not losing my mind. I lack in a lot of love. I lack in a lot of support. I lack in a lot of things that I see around me, but my environment is not supporting me.
I love that. Pause, my gorgeous one. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to talk a little bit more with Desti about how she healed herself. And we're going to bring 2 guests on that understand this journey far too well. We're talking about social media, depression, and building your personal brand. More on the other side. Hello and welcome back to the Boss Squad show with your girl, Kubi Springer. If you've just joined us, oh, child, you have missed such a powerful introduction. But before I get into all of that, let's talk about who our sponsors are. On today's show, we've got NT Media, Be Green, Big Jam Studios, and She Builds Brands. I want to take a minute to just say a big thank you to all the sponsors for supporting this season. Hi guys, so if you missed the first part of this show, I've been sitting down with Desti D. Puppet, it's such an honour to have you here. You've been telling everybody about your story. You came from Indonesia, living in the UK, you were feeling depressed. The medicines just numbed you.
You did.
And you were going to tell us about your journey to healing.
Yes. So, you know, a lot of people talk about healing through medicine or therapy. For me, I knew I could heal it by just being in a different environment, surrounded by the people that I loved, surrounded by people that loved me. And first and foremost, you know, you have to heal within yourself. And you ask yourself a lot of whys. Why are you not happy? But why are you where you are right now? And for me, I was in uni. And why was I in uni? I wanted to make my parents proud. You know, why was I working a job? Because I wanted to have certain nice clothes. I wanted to pay my bills. But when you start to discover and look into your whys, it also kind of makes you realize you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to become or to do a lot of things because of what you see. And especially social media exposes you to so many things and so many information. And, you know, a lot of the unrealistic expectations that comes from social media makes you also changes your to-do list. So my way of healing as well was to actually get rid of my to-do list. I had a to-be list.
Stop. No. There's another one of those gems. You got rid of your to-do list and you looked at having a to-be list.
That's it.
What did that look like?
Because you don't become happy by doing, you become happy by being.
Yes.
You don't just do running so you can become happy. No, you want to be healthy. So therefore you feel happier within yourself. You feel more confident within yourself. So I didn't really change much about my work ethic or my work vision. It was my perspective that I changed. So I still wanted to become a fashion blogger. I still wanted to, you know, have my own talk show. But instead of having targets and doing certain number of contents per week, I'd say to myself, you know what? If I feel happy this week, I want to be this. So
Give me a practical example of that, because I get it.
Sure.
But there might be some people who are like, to-be list? What do you mean to-be list? Like, practically, what does that look like?
Your list is even more simpler than, and to some people it may be like, oh my God, that is really easy. This week, I want to be healthy and happy. And for me, it would be, you know what, instead of going to the gym twice a week, I want to go 3 times.
Because when you say I want to be healthy, then your actions mimic the being.
And it's a lot easier for you to also complete those tasks, complete those to-do lists, but it's a to-be list. So for me, it's almost like you're rewarding yourself twice, because not only have you finished your task, you've become who you wanted to also become, or you set that person to be in the beginning.
And also it's a journey then.
It is.
It's a
You're
journey.
enjoying the journey
Absolutely.
more. And you more gratitude, more grateful towards the journey and the process of becoming the person you want to be, rather than, you know what, I do appreciate that I've done all the hard work, but I need to do more things to be like that.
Right.
And you let go of the idea.
You let go, you took the words right out of my mouth. I so love you. You let go of the idea of goals and targets, and you embrace the idea of what do I need to feel.
Right.
A really good friend of mine, Destiny, he always says when he wakes up every single day, he says, what do I want to feel today? Not what do I want to do today, but what do I want to feel today? And then he has an amazing life because his activities end up giving him what he wants to feel.
Right.
Is that what you mean?
It does, because sometimes my friends ask me, or they vent to me about their problems, and I have to be brutally honest with them, and I said, it's not that I don't care about how you feel, but let's change something about what you do, and the way you feel is going to change. And that way your state of being down, and I don't always want to call it depressed, because there's a difference between being down and being depressed. And that feeling of being down soon just vanish, because you've let go of the idea of being down, and now you're changing how you're becoming, and instead of doing, you're now just becoming. And I think that that's one way to heal yourself from a mental health journey. Get rid of your to-do list and just have a be list.
So Desti, thank you so much for being so honest about your story. If you have just joined us and anything that we're saying around social media, depression and healing and building your personal brand, if anything triggers you, then make sure that you contact the number at the bottom of your screens, or alternatively, research a number that is relevant to your country, right? It's so important to get the extra help.
100%.
Right, yeah. So let's now bring in our two guests. We've got Maxine, welcome.
Welcome, thank you for having us here.
Hi, and Tanae, how are you, puppet?
Hi, I'm well, thank you.
Are you nervous?
I'm okay.
Good stuff. We got BossSquad in the house, so
Yes.
welcome. Absolutely, aren't they? So I want to start off, Maxine, with you. This topic today is around social media, mental health and personal branding. You've been in the industry for a while. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so my background, I'm a qualified social worker for the past nearly 10 years, and I've been in the health and social care sector for the past 14 years. So in that, my first ever job was working with adults with mental health issues, and so there on in, I've always had an interest to help and support and guide others to living a better life, from being at point A where they might not be feeling very good to going to all the way through the A to Z, and feeling and being better within their minds and just living a better life.
I love that. So Desi was talking about the difference between being down and being depressed. In the industry, how do you define the difference between the two?
Well, depression is long enduring. So there will be certain signs and certain things, and obviously yourself, where you've been depressed, you would have noticed that there'll be certain behaviours that, and it can vary between different person to person. And I think that that's what we need to remember with mental health is that actually it really does, it's on a spectrum. So you could have low level depression, and then you can have very, very, on the other scale where, for example, I'll give a few examples of depression. So it could be not going out of bed, things with hygiene, not looking after yourself, not caring for yourself, either overeating or undereating. And these are just some of the signs. And I would say that in the first instance, really, if you are feeling like that for a long period of time, you need to reach out to a doctor, because they will go through a questionnaire with you. They will ask you questions, and then they will do sort of a scoring and work out with you whether that is the case. But if you are, say, for example, feeling down, it might be a set of circumstances and something goes wrong, and then you're feeling down, and then maybe the next day you're feeling completely fine. So I think that you have to recognise in the sense of, but if you're getting that every single day, then actually, hold on a minute, let's check to see whether I can get some professional help.
I love that. Thank you so much. When Desti was talking about her story, she said that the medicine, in essence, was numbing. Right. And you went on a journey of healing with this kind of to-be list. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that's a really good idea. There's many different other ways of looking at things. So when I went through my period of, I suffered with post-traumatic stress disorder, and what I did was I had a worry jar, and then I'd put all my worries in there, and at the end of the week what I would do is I would take them out, and I would just rip them up and discard of them, just to let go of all the worries that I have had. And then I'd also as well have like a box, like a good memories box, which I still have. So they're the precious moments that you actually keep. And if you have those memories, you can look back and go, well, actually, even in this time of adversity, even the time of difficulty, these are moments where, I did manage to go out and I did have a good time with, even if it's a little memento of, I don't know, like a theatre ticket or something like that, you can look back and really recognise, actually, I do have good times and good moments.
I love that. I think I'm going to adapt the idea of having a memory box. How beautiful is that? Just kind of putting in all your memories. Now, talking of writing things down, so Tanae, you're an author, and your book is all about self-esteem.
Yeah,
so talk to us about that.
So my writing journey began a couple years ago in 2016. I can definitely resonate with Desti's story of social media being your happy place. That was what happened for me. I was going through heartbreak, and also I was feeling really lost in my career path. I studied law, and in practice I really hated it. So I vented out my pain on social media. I just started to post my thoughts and feelings on there, and that's because I found it really difficult to speak to like my friends and my family, especially my family who really was relying on me to be the author. I mean, the lawyer in the family. So that was when I realised that there were so many other people going through the same emotions as me. And writing really helped me to tap into my inner voice, get really real and honest with myself, and identify what actually the problems were that I was going through. And yeah, for me, when I started writing, that was the beginning of like my healing journey.
So you didn't set out to say, I'm going to be an author. You just used social media as a platform to speak your truth.
Yeah, that's right.
And your page is beautiful, because I read some of your writings that you put up.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. What was the response like when you started to do it?
It was really good. I mean, people were messaging me and DMing me saying that, you know, my words have helped them to get through a challenge or have helped them to not actually kill themselves. So those ones were really deep. And I never, like you said, like I never set out to be a writer. I had no idea like how big this was going to grow, what I was doing at the time. It was just a matter of, I really wanted to be understood. And I found it a lot more easier to share my thoughts and feelings with strangers online than I did with my family for some reason. And yeah, it just worked really well for me. And it was just a rewarding feeling. Those messages, for me, it was like more rewarding than my law degree. And that's when I realised that this is something that I'm passionate about. And I feel like that was the beginning of me discovering my life purpose.
Love that. Love that. We're going to go for a very, very quick break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to be talking some more about social media, depression, and building your personal brand. All of that after this. Hello and welcome back to the Boss Squad show. Today I'm joined by Desti D. How you feeling, Puppet?
I feel right at home.
It's kind of, you look like you're right at home. Like I need to have you again and again. Absolutely.
I love it here.
I love you being here, babes. This show is sponsored by Big Jam Studios, She Builds Brands, Be Green Green Green, and NT Media. Ladies, welcome back. Tanae and Maxine, welcome back.
Hey.
Thank you.
Desi, I want to check in with you. I mean, listening to Tanae and Maxine's individual journeys, like what are you feeling and thinking?
Reassured, knowing that even though I have healed through my mental health, knowing that there are so many more people that are relatable, and I do feel more empowered that, God, there's so many vulnerable, honest and real people that genuinely want to help others and inspire others and being there for others. And if you do need to reach out to somebody for help, there is somebody so close to you that is probably going through the same thing as you.
Yes.
You don't have to feel like you're alone.
Because you're not alone.
You're
Yeah,
not.
Absolutely. I agree. I want to bring this topic and really hone it in, ladies, to social media. We're in a time right now where everybody and their mama is trying to build their brand. They've jumped on social media. It's an amazing place, but it also can be a really pressurized place. Who wants to talk on that?
Definitely me. Pressures in the 20s. I'm in my 20s at the moment, and the pressures of having a marriage, having kids, having a brand. There's not a lot of celebration of, you know what, somebody is starting a business small, and let that be celebrated. That person is taking a risk and a challenge to do something out of their comfort zone. People are ready to just trample on and judge that person, or like, oh, is that it? Is that what you're coming out with? Is that the brand that you're building? You know, you're at that age, you should be earning more money, so your brand should be bigger, rather than, hey, congrats on starting that. You know, it's something new. It's something to be celebrated. So I think there's a lot of pressures, a lot of generation in the 20s at the moment, especially late 20s, because we have still that old school and traditional morals and practices within us, whether as the new gen or the X gen or the Z gen, they call it. They have a whole new way of practice and morals of being, and because they were so exposed to social media from like a younger age, I didn't have that. And it's okay for the new gen to not go uni and just start a business. Whether as we kind of followed through our parents' wishes, and they want us to go to uni and have that traditional way of succeeding in life and stuff. And I feel like social media did put a negative impact on me on that aspect, but at the same time, it actually helped me go through what I had to go through.
Maxine, your business is birthing, right? I know this because we're in the Boss Squad. Do you ever feel like what Destiny D is talking about, where people are looking down like, oh, is that your only numbers? Do you ever feel that pressure?
I think there is a thing of making comparisons online and on social media. This person's got this amount of followers, this person's got that amount of likes, and there's a real push and pressure to get more followers, get more likes, you'll get sponsored, you'll get a swipe up, you know. And the NHS actually highlighted that Instagram is, for young people, is like one of the worst social media platforms to access, and I think it's because of things like that. And that sort of competitiveness in terms of, you know, numbers, likes and things like that.
I mean, you're so right, because I had, believe it or not, I had someone DM me the other day. They had bought my book and then they said, I'm not going to follow you anymore. And I thought, okay, why? And they were like, because you're not the real deal, because you've only got 20,000 followers. And I was thinking, hold on a minute, you're going to judge 24 years of a career based on the number of IG followers I have. And literally they stopped following me. And I thought, is that the world we are in? You know, and there was a part of my ego that was like, let me send you my resume. But I thought, you know what, child, just let that one go. It's crazy.
But that's the thing, that doesn't take away from your experience, you know. And for myself, like, I don't have loads of followers. Because I focus on people. So where I focus on serving others, my thing is also as well is to support people in saying that it's okay at times to have a break from social media. And also as well to think about the people that you're actually following on social media, because you need to have people just in the same said way that you have positive people in your life. You need to have positive people on social media.
Right, so your feed reflects what your soul wants to be fed, right?
Yeah,
you're yes in here. Tell us, Tanae, tell us.
I feel like social media can be a scary place, especially like if you're starting a brand, because there's so many trolls on social media, and I feel like a lot of people have been affected by negative comments, like a lot of people in different industries, and you know, it can be really scary. And for me, especially when I started writing, like I remember when I got like my first like negative comment, like that really affected me, and it was about the whole book in itself, but it really helped me to build thicker skin. And I think when you're exposing yourself to social media, you have to realize like there's billions of people on there, you know, people from all around the world, and you just have to really understand that people are going to have different perceptions on stuff, different opinions, and you just have to roll with it, really.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about the negative, because I think there's a difference between a troll and a negative comment. And I always say to clients, like, if it's a troll, just delete. Right, because it's a troll. But if it's a negative comment, there might be learning in that comment for you. You know, not everything should be oh, they're haters. No, maybe they're not, or maybe they are, but there's something for you to learn within that. How do you guys deal with it when it comes to you? I mean, that's the 150. How many negatives a day?
You know what? Funny enough, I don't get a lot, and I'm very grateful and blessed for that. But I think it's also how you perceive yourself on social media. What you choose to consume as well as expose on your feed is what people will come to you for or come at you for. And for me is how you choose to respond and react to the comment is how it's going to reflect on you. So if you choose to react with anger and you choose to respond with negativity, or swear back at that person, or, you know, wish that person a negative thing back, that's going to actually take a lot of energy from you. So you are at a loss. So for me, I respond to both negative and positive, but in a more positive light, because once I log off of that app, I still want to feel good about myself.
Right.
And I don't go with the fake it till you make it. I face it till I make it.
Yes,
because
come on.
if somebody is having a negative comment about you and you actually speak to that person, they could just be having a bad day. That comment is actually a person behind the screen. So that person could be going through anything. And if I have that conversation and said, hey, I'm talking about mental health and you are making a negative comment about it. This is something sentimental. This is something vulnerable. Why would you have anything negative to say about that? And that person will feel guilty, and that guilt will turn into honesty and vulnerability. So that's how I deal with it.
I love that.
I don't try to belittle or make that person feel worse than they already are, or even, curse and cuss at them. Instead, I try to have a conversation. The worst that can happen is that person not have a conversation with you.
Right, they don't respond. Yeah.
Right.
I think there's something really powerful in recognizing, I often use this line. I say Kubi and Kubi Springer are not the same people. So Kubi Springer, the brand, is not Kubi. Like Kubi doesn't wear false eyelashes. Do you know what I mean? Kubi wears Ugg boots in the winter. And, it's about having an element of detachment. In the field, Maxine, do we encourage this for people to really begin to recognize that actually the persona that you're building as a personal brand on social media is not the totality of who you are?
I think that's what we have to be mindful of. Because sometimes I feel that with people, they feel that everything that they see, all those pictures and all those videos, that's the actual reality. When actually, if you was to watch a soap or a drama on TV, you know that there's an element of acting and that there's an element of that not being real, right? So you just have to remember that not all the posts, like I'm not every day looking all glamorous and things like that. And actually, and that was a good thing that you did actually on your social media, Kubi, I haven't got my makeup on. This is what I do. This is behind the scenes. And you're giving that real life version. And I think that should be encouraged, I think, more often on social media.
I was really nervous about that. Can I be honest? So just to bring you into the picture there, CD, I decided that with the filming of the BossSquad show, I was going to do IG with the kind of uncut version, like the real deal. Oh, wow. So what do I look like when I turn up before the makeup artist is here? The fact that I'm picking up boxes along with the rest of the crew. But I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. I looked back at it and I was like, child, you ain't even got a filter on this thing. No. But you're right. It's important.
Definitely. I think that, we have to remember that we do have real lives and it's not just all on social media. And
we have a responsibility to our followers.
Yes, we do.
How did you feel after showing everybody the
real deal? The real deal, the non-filtered. You know what? I felt like it was necessary. I really take the responsibility of the BossSquad seriously. And there's so many people who assume that you just wham bam and it's done. And as these guys will attest, I'm always talking about the grind that's necessary. It doesn't matter what level you are, you're still grinding. But now I feel better that Maxine said that she enjoyed it. I'm like, okay, we might do that again. Let's talk about some of the solutions, guys, around if you're feeling either inadequate in yourself, or if you're feeling that you're not navigating past that deep depression, what are some of the solutions as it pertains to building your personal brand and social media? What do we think?
I would say, I feel like everyone should journal, and that's what I do a lot of, because journaling really helps you to face your emotions. I remember when I was at the beginning, when I was feeling really down, I used to go out a lot and just get drunk because I wanted to really run away from reality. But I realized that wasn't helping me and I was running away from my emotions. But when I started to write, that's when I really began to face my emotions. And like I said earlier, it helped me to open myself up and deal with the things that I was going through, like my low self-esteem and things like that. And what Maxine said to you about posting the real you on social media, I struggled with that to begin with as well. But I remember when we did the brand story in the BossSquad, and I posted a picture of myself without any makeup or anything, and that picture actually received the most likes, and the story below that picture as well. A lot of people were able to resonate with it. So for me, it's just about being real with yourself and being real with the world. I feel like that's what helped me on my healing journey.
I love that. I love that.
So for me, it was writing down my gratitude list, spending time with family, and doing something that I love, which involves movement. Why spending time with your family? I mean, you know, it may be hard for somebody that doesn't have a lot of family or not close with their family, but spending time with my baby nieces, especially for me, brings out purity in you. It really reminds you what you're grateful of, because if you give a candy to a kid, that kid is like, oh my God, thank you so much. And you start to realize, oh my God, I'm not grateful for my life at all. Anything that I have, I'm just greedy. And, you know, you start to kind of feel worse before you feel great again about yourself. It reminds you what you really have when you surround yourself with innocence and purity, especially young children. And dance.
Don't
forget about dancing.
Don't forget about dancing. I started dancing the other day, just dancing again. Like I was gymming, but then there was a day I was like, you know what? I don't want to pick up a weight. You know what I mean? I don't want to do a downward facing dog. I just dance. High five to the dancing. Yes, child, I'm with you. What about you, Maxine? What are some of the solutions?
I think for me, because I'm not a big, massive social media person, and I think for me, what helps me is to like pre-prepare content. And when I'm feeling good, when I'm feeling happy. So if you're in a state where you know you're not going to be feeling good at a certain time of the month, or you've got other things doing in your everyday life and you're trying to set up and build your brand, just pre-prepare content, put it out there, schedule it out, and then you're delivering that consistent content. And I really think that is a good way of putting less pressure on yourself to be able to, I've got to be on social media every day. Yeah. And then you can focus on doing other aspects of your life that make you feel happy.
Organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I so agree with you. I often say to clients, I say, don't put all of you on social media. There are some things that should be sacred, you know, some things that are yours, and only put out what's relevant to your audience. So only put out what's going to serve your audience in order to build your brand.
You have to have boundaries.
You've got to have boundaries, right? Yeah, absolutely. Like I think sometimes, definitely the season I'm in, love is a boundary. Like y'all don't need to know who I'm dating. Okay? It's a boundary. You know, I think you've got to have certain boundaries. Wonderful. Well, look, I could talk to you guys all day. I got the wrap up sign probably about 15 minutes ago. So tell everybody today, let's start with you. How can they get your book? How can they get in touch with you?
My book is called Walk with Wings, and you can get it on Amazon. It's also on my website, www.taneedwards.com. And also you can find me on Instagram at taneedwards.
I love that. I love that. What about you, Maxine? How can they connect?
You can connect with me, MaxineWinter.com. Or you can also, and that's Winter with a Y actually, WYNTER. And also as well, we do a project, myself and Tanae, called the C Project. So it's www.c-project.co.uk.
What's the C Project? Tell everybody.
So the C Project, just in short, is a project where we support the community online. Every single month we have a different theme to support millennials or anyone really, in different areas and aspects of their life, so they feel much more empowered and, you know, having less effects of mental health issues, really.
I feel like there's some connections that need to happen right about now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, the power of the Boss Squad. I love it. And what about you, Desi D? How can people get in contact?
It's DesDD, that's the DESTHYDEE on all socials, from Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and YouTube. And my talk show is live, so LIVE with DesDD.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, lovely ladies, for coming in and sharing your stories. Guys, if you are wondering, you know, what can you do next? What are some of the practical steps that you can take if you're ready to get your pens and your pads out and write down some stuff? Well, I've got a treat coming up for you. All of that after this. Hello and welcome back to the Boss Squad with your girl, Kubi Springer. This show is being sponsored by NT Media, She Builds Brands, Be Green, 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 and Big Jam Studios. Now, guys, we've come towards the end of the show, but as I said in the last segment, I've got a little treat for you. Right now, we're going to head over to one of our Boss Squad experts to find out what they've got to say in terms of social media, mental health, and how you can ensure that you're leveling up your brand. I recommend you take some notes.
What's up?
Welcome back, guys, to another Boss Style on the Boss Squad show. I'm Glam.
And I'm Brian.
And we are a guy and a girl. So, guys, the pressure. The pressure. We are talking mental health, guys. And it's something that's been around for a very long time, but it's really being tossed around more this day and age. And it has a lot to do with just the pressures of society, social norms, and the things that we're being held to. Social media is definitely playing a major role today in mental health and, just the expectations that are placed on us.
And it's also an unspoken conversation.
It's definitely
that we never have.
That we never ever have. And between these expectations and these guidelines and these rules, and when it comes to fashion, there are so many rules. We definitely hate rules in
Rules
fashion.
keep people safe, okay? And we don't like rules.
We do not like rules at all. So today, guys, what we will be teaching you is how to break all of the fashion rules.
Every last one.
Every last one. We are breaking the rules today, guys. Are you ready? All right, guys. So rule number 1.
White after Labor Day.
White after Labor Day. White after Labor Day. This rule is such an age-old rule.
Very old.
It is so old. It's so outdated.
It's a rule from the rich against the poor,
Yes.
or
I thought I was going to educate him
the
today.
old money and the new money.
Oh, I'm really irritated. He
Going
did his
on
research.
vacation.
That's very annoying that he did his
Because
research.
this is fashion. This is what we
He
do.
did his research, y'all. And then they also say it's because white it's a lighter weight, it's more breathable. So that was another reason. Also, the rich packed and went
Vacation,
away.
yes.
They left the city, went on vacation. So we decided, because we absolutely hate that rule, that is definitely something we want to play on today. So we wanted to show you guys how to wear white after Labor Day. There is definitely a time. I will say that Coco Chanel always did an excellent job of wearing white and creating white for year round. You guys, the bottom line is you can wear white after Labor Day.
You can. Yes. And do it now.
So gender rules, guys. Staying specific to your actual gender, not wearing, for men, not being able to wear pink. Come on. Real men wear pink. Or even for ladies, wearing men's tailoring, men's suiting. I love oversized clothes.
I was just going to say oversized for women. That is definitely a fave of mine. Okay, a personal fave.
You guys have to see what he has on today. Can you just give us a little
You know what? And this is something that's not traditional in the men's world.
Absolutely.
For a man to wear a full-length dress, it's just not traditional. And we shy away from wearing more feminine clothing and making them masculine. So that's what I did.
Yeah, so I think, guys, the bottom line is color outside of the line.
There you go.
This is style. Rule number 3.
Mixing prints and patterns.
Talk to the people.
When you are mixing prints and patterns, it is definitely a fashion forward statement.
Absolutely.
If you can't do it, consult a stylist. Do not listen to your friends.
So my motto is go with the flow.
Oh, I like that.
It doesn't have to go. It just has to flow.
Ooh.
Within that, we're talking about coordinating, guys, versus matching. We don't always have to be matchy-matchy. Like, honestly, it's really about having fun and coordinating your pieces. So number 4, I think this is our absolute claim to fame. Re-wearing your clothes. There is nobody, I don't think there's nobody on this planet, okay? Nobody. I would really beg to differ with them, that can teach you how to rewear your clothes better than the self-proclaimed remix queen and king. This is what we do, guys, and there is nothing wrong with it. It's a way to get more bang for your buck.
Right.
We work hard for our pieces, so we have to rewear them again.
You pay $500 for a pair of shoes, and you can't wear them again because you wore them on Instagram?
Says who? Don't let social media bully you guys. It is an art to be able to recreate your clothing.
Say it again.
Time and time again and make it look different. It is an actual art. We are talking fashion, guys. No, we're not talking fashion. We are talking style.
So since we're talking about mixing.
Yes, talk about mixing. Let's get mixy.
Mixing metals. I just think that that's an old cliche thing that people don't
antiquated.
do.
Yeah.
And it's so safe to put on all gold or put on all silver.
It's boring too. Can we talk boring? I mean, we're mixing. We're most definitely mixing, okay? I mix every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day. So, leather in the summer time. This reminds me of one of my favorite lines from Waiting to Exhale.
It's leather wearing in the summertime, need a shave, stinky.
I don't know where we get off like with all these rules telling people what they can wear. Of course you can wear leather in the summertime. A little more of a cropped type, you know, leather jacket, not a coat. Leather shorts and a t-shirt tucked in.
And a tank. It's what you wear under it that's going to give you that breathing room.
Absolutely.
You know?
Someone said that sweats and pajamas are reserved for the house. I'm here to tell you, okay? So we have, the designers are creating pajama-like moments, okay? He wears a robe quite often.
Yes, it is Sonia Raquel.
Yes.
Versace.
Yes.
The robe.
Heavily adopted on the runway today, guys.
Yeah.
Heavily.
Dressing your age.
Yeah.
Now I know this is a sensitive one.
What does that even mean? This is super subjective to me. I don't think you have to dress your age. It's more about dressing your body. You know, what's comfortable to you. Understanding what you feel confident in. Number 9 is matching belt to shoes, matching belt to bag. From my retail days, when someone would come in and ask me to find the matching belt to their shoe, it wore me completely out. We do not have to match our belts to our shoes. Men, you do not have to match your belt to your shoes.
In a corporate setting,
corporate setting. But past that, this is a rule that as far as I'm concerned, we can throw that, throw it.
Let's get rid of it.
Number 10, guys, socks and sandals. Or socks and open-toe shoes, ladies. I love the grandma chic era, so I can speak to the socks and the open-toe. Oh, love it. With a cute skirt or a little, maybe a little cropped pant.
It's a timeless look.
And it shows your, creativity and your style. So socks and sandals are a go, guys.
It's a go.
Okay? All right, this rule, number 11, is hats indoors. This is a rule that, it's an old rule. And I will say, unless you are in a place that does have signs or requests that you take off your hat, then honestly,
leave it on.
It's just a rule that I just can't get with. Ooh. All right, I like this one. Number 12. There are certain colors that don't mix. So like the navy and the black, I don't really understand that rule, because navy and black is smart. Navy and black is very smart.
It depends on the style of clothing.
It definitely
for
does.
me.
That's why I said smart. Colors don't mix is canceled. All right, what about shorts reserved for the spring, summers? Because Brian does this a lot.
All the time. I'm so against this. And I'll do it all the way up until 30-degree weather. I'll put on a hoodie, I'll put on a long trench coat, and I'll have shorts under.
Yep. I love a high boot with a short.
Yeah, fur shorts.
My fur shorts. I love those. I even do sometimes a sock and shoe moment with a short.
Love it.
Guys, don't rule it out. It's so much fun. Rule number 14. Are you guys familiar with the Canadian tuxedo?
Tell them what it is.
So that's denim on denim, guys. It's an old time rule. Do away with it. First of all, we see denim on the runway.
Everywhere now.
You're definitely going to catch a gag in denim on denim.
It's been around for every era.
Absolutely.
The 80s, the 90s.
Absolutely.
And now us.
Right.
We do denim on denim.
We do denim on denim. And this is the big one.
Oh, go ahead.
It does not have to match. Your denim.
No, it doesn't.
Does not have to match, okay? Please don't think that if it's not both the light wash that it's over for your outfit.
There's no right or wrong way to do denim on denim.
Absolutely not. I will say the biggest one is that fashion has rules. and that it is meant to be taken seriously. Guys, this is the biggest rule to break, okay? Fashion and rules do not
They don't go together
They
at
don't.
all.
They don't.
Okay? The two don't, it's like oil and water.
Yeah.
It doesn't mix.
It doesn't
okay?
mix. I will say this, guys. Fashion often is trends, right? So it's what the runway gives you, what they show you. Style is very inherent. It's a feeling. It's what you give your runways. So at the end of the day, guys, fashion, if we let fashion have rules, style has none. So we want you guys to go out there and give your style. Be fun, be fearless, because that's the best look you could get. That is all that we have for you today. We hope that you are gonna go out there and rip those runways. That's the streets, guys. I'm Glam.
And I'm Brian.
And that's all. Bye.
We just want to remind you to check on your loved ones.
If you or someone you know is battling mental health or depression, please call the 24-hour National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-8255. Love and light.
Like, I just want to be free. I ain't no gangster. I don't want to live like that. You feel me? I want to be flamboyant. I want to stand out amongst the crowd. Everybody going that way. Everybody going that way. I want to go that way. You feel me? I just want to. But instead, society and my peers making me have to try to blend in. And I hate that shit. Look, I just want to be free. So now that I'm gone, I'm free.
Whew, that was amazing. I hope you took loads and loads and loads of notes. I'd love to know what you felt about the show, what you feel about some of the tips that have been given. And also, I would love for you to remember that if anything in this show has triggered something for you, make sure that you contact either the number at the bottom or find a charity that is in your country. We've come to the end of the show. So once again, I want to say a big thank you to all our sponsors, NT Media, She Builds Brands, Big Jam Studios, and Be Green, Green, Green. Thank you so much. Remember to level up your brand, build your dreams, and do it without apology. See you next time.